Hey guys, it's Jenny and welcome to Mommy's Crime Time. This is kind of a spur of the moment video because I just received some news that I did not know about and I wanted to share it with you guys. We've all heard the story of Ted Bundy. We have watched a million documentaries. We've researched it. We've even watched movies about Ted Bundy. But finally, for the first time, basically in over 3 decades, we're going to hear from Ted Bundy's longtime girlfriend and her daughter. I'm talking about Liz. She has various names. She chose to go by Elizabeth Kendall, but her last name was actually different than that. So I believe in this video, she's going to use her actual real name. The first thing is you need to stop whatever you're doing. You need to go get your remote, get your phone, whatever, set your DVR, add this to your watch list, whatever you need to do, because we're getting not one, but 2 specials with Liz and her daughter, and they're going to talk about their experiences with Ted Bundy. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Amazon Prime Video special. It's called Ted Bundy, Falling for a Killer, and it is a 5-part docu-series, and it's going to premiere on Friday, January 31st, 2020. So make sure you have that set up, ready to go, so you can watch it on Amazon Prime Video. In this docu-series, they're going to have interviews with, like I said, Liz and her daughter Molly. Also, a friend of Ted Bundy's, her name is Phyllis Armstrong, the reporter who covered the case, and that would be Barbara Grossman, and even a detective, Kathleen McChesney, who worked the case during the time that Ted Bundy was active. Basically, it's trying to reframe the story of Ted Bundy from a woman's perspective, and women that lived it, women that knew him, women that loved him, or women that were closely associated with him. So this is the first time that we're going to hear it from a woman's perspective, from people who were actually victimized by Ted Bundy. So they're also going to talk to people that have never spoke before. I'm not sure who they will be, but it said that they will be victims of his that we've never heard anything from before. And we will also have videos from the archives of Bundy, which most of us have seen those. But Liz is releasing special photos from her family photo albums, a lot of which I'm showing you now in this slideshow. There are some that you have seen, and there will be some that you have probably never seen. So she's going to release some new photos that we've never seen. The thing with Ted Bundy is he was an active serial killer during the 70s. He came off as very nice, very charismatic. He was an accomplished man. He was not a dumb man. He was actually very, very intelligent. He was a law student. So he actually went on to kill at least 30 women. We don't know exactly how many, and we probably pretty certain we never will, but that's who Ted Bundy is. And to see how others paint him that were the closest to him, I think will be very telling. They're going to talk about Bundy's hatred of women and how that hatred of women kind of collided with the feminist movement in the 70s, and how a lot of the women who were, starting to rise because of feminism and move up and get jobs and, become more accomplished, it ended up making them more afraid because, they finally got this sense of peace, and then they were having it taken away by some. They will also talk about why Liz is doing this interview, how she feels. And she says, this is her words, that she's trying to put Ted Bundy behind her and hopes that this will put an end to anything related to Ted. So she wants this to be over, although she has been silent. She doesn't want to continue to be, Ted's longtime girlfriend. She wants to put an end to all of that. There have been so few women that have actually survived Ted Bundy that are alive to talk about it. So it'll be something different to hear from people that, were around him so much and actually lived about it. The other thing is Liz wrote a book. I believe it was in the 80s. It was published, called The Phantom Prince. The book kind of fizzled out. It was very hard to find. I remember looking for it last year, I believe, and I could not find it anywhere. They actually based the Netflix movie with Zac Efron, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, on that book. And she has since then re-released the book. And it was released on January 20th, so it's fairly new. You can get it off Amazon. But there's new things in this book that weren't the old one, including a chapter from Molly, her daughter. And in this chapter, it's going to hit on some disturbing revelations or things that happened with Molly that have never been talked about. For example, she describes playing hide and seek with Ted once, and that when she found him, he was hiding in a pretty obvious place, and he was naked and sexually aroused. Also about, there was one time he got to bed with her, and that she woke up and she thought he had peed himself because she didn't know where the source of the wetness in her bed came from. So we're going to hear more about him, his relationship with her, and, you know, kind of what was really going on and what they saw. Bundy met Liz at a bar in 1969, and he was basically a father figure to Molly from the age 3 to age 10. So he was really a big part of her life. Liz had saw the police sketch in the paper in 1974. She even called the police and reported that it looked like her boyfriend, that he drove the same kind of car. I believe she called the police about 3 times and no one was taking her seriously about it. So obviously she had, you know, realized that something wasn't right. Maybe he was playing into it. I guess they're going to hit on abuse in the relationship that we haven't heard about. So that's the Amazon special. Like I said, it will premiere on Friday, January 31st, and it's a 5-part docuseries. But if one Ted Bundy docuseries is not enough, ABC has released, or will be releasing on Friday, their 2020 special. It's going to be 2 hours long, and it's also about Liz and Molly and their relationship with Ted Bundy. That will premiere, like I said, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC, and they're going to talk to Molly and Liz about what life was like with Ted, which we're going to hear a lot of this too in the Amazon special, but this is just a different take from ABC. Molly will hit on the hide and seek incident, and also in the preview or the trailer, she said that she saw evil in his eyes, and knowing that she's one of the only people, or maybe only living person, who saw that look and lived to tell about it, you know, how disturbing that is, things like that. The interviewer is going to ask them why they feel like Bundy spared them, didn't kill them. Apparently at one point he had talked about how he did want to kill Liz, so we'll get to hear their opinion on why he spared them. You can see the trailers for both shows. I know that you can watch them on Amazon.com. You can see the ABC trailer on Facebook. All of the information that I've gathered here has come from those trailers and those websites. So set your DVR, get ready, be ready to hear a whole new perspective on Ted Bundy and what it was like being in his life and actually loving him. Stay tuned. We'll do a video after and we'll talk about the revelations and what we heard. Again, thank you for following